Big news just dropped, and with that, hello and welcome to this new video. Before we get to the news, I wanted to make a quick announcement. I will stream on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday VGC ranked, and this is where I need your help because I wanted to stream with some very original restricted Pokemon like Dialga, Kyurem-Black. You can find a full list in the description below, and if you have a very cool team with one of these Pokemon, feel free to drop a rental code in the comments below or join my Discord server and drop a rental there because I wanted to test every single restricted, and for the last 10 restricteds I need your help. I don't have that much time to get all the Pokemon ready, and this is why I really need your help, and if you could help me with that, I would really appreciate it. But let's get straight into the video. And here we are, this is the big news. The new regulation we will play after the Worlds will be Regulation H, because as you can see, the regulation will last from September 1st to January 5th, which is more than 4 months, which is crazy. And I'm really pumped for this regulation because the important part about this regulation is that the Pokemon restriction is only the available national Pokédex. What does that mean? It means that we don't have restricted Pokemon anymore, but we don't have the sub-legendaries as well, as you can see here. No Articuno, no Zapdos, no legendary Pokemon at all. Mythicals were banned before, so you don't have to worry about them, about like Celebi, Victini, Shaman Sky, and so on. But now all the legendaries are banned as well, as you can see here. Literally every single one of them is banned, but that's not it. When we scroll down to the 9th generation, you will see something very interesting. Urshifu is banned, okay guys? Urshifu is banned. That's so crazy. But what else? You can see it here. The Paradox Pokemon are banned as well. So no more Fluttermane. We go back to Regulation A almost. But no more Fluttermane, guys. No more Fluttermane. I mean, Fluttermane dropped in usage quite a bit in Regulation G, but now it's completely gone. But also, no more Iron Hands as well. And as you can see here, Treasures of Ruin are also banned. No Chiempao, no Chiyu or Frodu, whatever. They are all gone. And this is so interesting. No Okidogi, I mean these three were not really strong, but no Ogapon as well. No Raging Bolt. That's just so crazy. But this doesn't mean that we just go back to Regulation A, because we have 2 DLCs that got dropped. So that means that the DLCs are getting added to Regulation A. So we basically play Regulation A+. And I wanted to take a quick look over potential threats we might see in the future, because the first regional is coming up very soon. So I wanted to talk about some interesting Pokemon. We do that by scrolling through the builder, and if I see something interesting, I will stop there. But before that, I will talk about the obvious stuff. Blood Moon Ursaluna. The only Pokemon you cannot breed next to Ditto, I think, in the new rule set, because every other Pokemon should be able, you should be able to breed every other Pokemon, just not Ursaluna Blood Moon. And Ursaluna Blood Moon is very strong probably, because now it has an okay speed here, because all the Pokemon with 135 base speed, Chiempao, Fluttermane, Miraidon, Koraidon, they don't exist anymore. And I think Ursaluna Blood Moon will be a king in the new regulation, because it's just so strong already. But now, with all the restricted Pokemon gone, it can shine even more, I think. Next up, we've got Dondozo. Dondozo will come back, I'm very sure of it, because Dondozo Tatsugiri was a huge threat in Regulation A already, and now, as well as for Ursaluna, all the super fast Pokemon don't exist anymore, so now plus 2 Dozo is very, very fast in the meta, and getting through Dondozo can be quite tough because you don't have Miraidon anymore, you don't have Urshifu Single Strike with Wicked Blow anymore. Maybe it's Meowscarada time again with Flower Trick, we have to see, but Dondozo will be a threat you have to expect. And then I hate to break it to you, but Incineroar and Rillaboom are both legal, and I think it's obvious that Incineroar and Rillaboom will both be very, very, very good, and I also think that Palafin will be back again, the hero we needed, because Urshifu Rapid Strike is no more, and Palafin with the support of Incineroar and Rillaboom, maybe Amoonguss, is just so strong. Amoonguss will benefit as well because no more electric terrain. I know Pincurchin exists, but these heavy hitters don't exist anymore, and that's what I'm scared about, because I feel like the meta can be very defensive, but my boy Dragapult now is the fastest Pokemon again. It struggles a bit into Incineroar, but if you figure out the right comp, Dragapult can shine again. Obviously, you don't have Chiempo anymore, but it's still not bad. Dragonite probably will take its place as well again. Choice Band, E-Speed, because name me a resist. I think these heavy hitters are not bad. But other than that, let's go through the builder. Abomasnow could take its place again. Ninetales as well, Ninetales Alola, because now we don't have to worry about Rain Dance Tornadus anymore, because Tornadus is banned as well, I think, right? It should be banned. I think it's a sub-legendary. Yeah, Tornadus is banned, so no more Rain Dance threat and no more Kyogre, Koraidon, Groudon. So Aurora Veil can rise up, I'm pretty sure of it. Annihilape. I think Mouse Ape will be very strong again. Mouse Ape was one of the biggest duos in the early meta game, and I'm pretty sure that they will be back again. The core was like, you beat up your Annihilape, you don't do any damage, but you boost your Rage Fist to 250 base power immediately because you take 4 hits with your Annihilape. And Mousehold obviously also got Follow Me support, it got Feint support if you want, it got Helping Hand, it got Taunt, it got Super Fang. Like, Mousehold was so scary. Maybe we will see a use of Population Bomb with Technician as well with the Wildlands item, because Population Bomb is such a strong move. You can, as you can see, 10 times each hit can miss, but if you have a Wildlands as an item, every hit is 99% accurate. So if you hit 10 times, you have a 200 base power move. Combine that with Technician, because the move is boosted by Technician, and Stab, you get to 450 base power, and that's just nuts. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to Mousehold as well. I think Araquanid deserves its place as well, because it cannot get burned, it has a fire resist. It's in contention with Palafin, but I think Araquanid definitely has a niche and will be used more than it was before. Arcanine could also come back, but Incineroar is probably just the better Arcanine, so I think Arcanine is not very great. Chaludon, I think Chaludon also makes sense because you can pair Palafin with Pelipper, and this is what many people did in the past. Palafin Pelipper won the Malmo Regional, Palafin Pelipper won the OCIC, the last one. So together with Chaludon, you have and Amoonguss, and maybe these two, I don't know, you have a very good Rain Core. Speaking of Rillaboom and terrain, maybe, just maybe, Armarouge Indeedee will be back. They got a new breaker as well in Ursaluna Regular or Ursaluna Blood Moon. They didn't have before, so I can definitely see them coming back. Obviously, Incineroar kind of was Armarouge, but Armarouge technically also has access to Aura Sphere and Focus Blast if you want, so it's not doomed against Incineroar. But yeah, so I can see them coming back. Azumarill is probably a worse water type than the others, but it can also see some play. Speaking of water types, Basculegion, I'm really curious how Basculegion will do, because Basculegion got Swift Swim and Adaptability and Mold Breaker. 3 very good abilities, Mold Breaker being the worst one. It just says something already. But I think Basculegion can be pretty good, because Last Respect is a move you still have to respect even if you just play 4v4, and I think Basculegion will see some play. Baxcalibur will be back again. One of the greatest Pokemon in Regulation A now is back, and I think even though Incineroar got added with a clear amulet item, your Glaive Rushes will do a lot of damage. I mean, you have 600 BST, and now 600 BST, which stands for base stat total, is not average anymore, it's above average, so it will definitely be good. Bellybolt is interesting. I could see some Bellybolt plays. It's not a regional winning Pokemon, but you should not underestimate Bellybolt by any means. Blaziken, Blastoise are not great. Bramblegast with the addition of Incineroar is probably also not the greatest. As well as like Amoonguss, Achalula. We have a lot of Pokemon that are not bad into Bramblegast. Breloom, a fast Spore user, I can see it, but I think Cerulege is a Pokemon I'm really excited to see more of, because Cerulege is just, it also is not good into Incineroar, but maybe with a bulk upset you can try to win many games. But we have many water types that got added, but Cerulege is always like this niche Pokemon that can pop out of nowhere. I mean, we saw it in Regulation G as well, right? Where Aurelian Solar used it in Stockholm to get the 9th place on a Terrapagos team, which was crazy. And I was using Cerulege in a Victory Road tour as well, and I think the Pokemon is not bad. Cetitan is interesting with snow support, but probably not great. Chandler saw some usage. I mean, it also got into top 32 of NAIC, and it won a huge national. I think it was Taiwan Nationals, if I don't get me wrong there, but it won a national, which is also pretty good. And now it can be even better because it is just a huge breaker. Chesnaught with Belly Drum, perhaps. There was with one Chesnaught team running around with Grassy Glide, Drain Punch, and Spiky Shield, because Bulletproof is such a nice ability as well. So maybe, other than that, let's see. Comfy in a Reg A plus meta is also something you have to respect, especially because Floral Healing heals more in grassy terrain. So Comfy Rillaboom course, with a nice setup like, I don't know, Annihilape, can be pretty cool. Conkeldurr might be a Trick Room Pokemon of your choice. No more Iron Hands. Maybe Conkeldurr can be good. Obviously, Ursaluna is in contention for the Guts Pokemon, but Conkeldurr has a nice priority in Mud Punch, and that's pretty cool. Cresselia is also a legendary, right? Yeah, Cresselia is a legendary. Just wanted to make sure, because sometimes Pokemon don't know, TPCI doesn't know their own rules. Decidueye maybe has a niche dex, but probably not. But yeah, Dondozo, I already mentioned it. Dragapult, Dragonite. Dunsparce probably is not great. Enamorous probably is also not good. I think Enamorous T has a spot on Trick Room teams because of Overcoat. You have a natural counter to Amoonguss. Amoonguss could start playing Clear Smog again because of Dondozo. I can definitely see that as well. Espathra without Sandy Shocks, maybe a Calm Mind stored power set, but it's very hard to pull off with this mediocre bulk. But you never know. Still wanted to mention it. Farigiraf will be one of the best Pokemon, probably. It already is. And now with no restricted, it is just the best priority blocker in the game. And I'm really happy that I was able to pull off the strength of Farigiraf in the last World Championship before everyone was using it. So it always has a place in my heart. Flamigo Dondozo strats might come back. Perhaps Frostmoth. It's probably not great, but I would not say no. Garganical is probably back. Gastrodon, I can imagine Gastrodon to be back because Palafin will be a huge threat. Pelipper, Basculete, just all the water types, and Gastrodon is just the natural enemy to them. So Gastrodon will see some usage at least, as well as Goldango. I think Goldango is one of the best non-restricteds. You have a natural counter to Amoonguss, you are immune to Fake Out, and you can just set up, or you can use Specs Make It Rains, which also means Murkrow comeback, Haste for Dondozo, Haste for your Goldango, Murkrow Goldango, question mark, exclamation mark, I don't know. Glimmora will see some place because in Regulation A it didn't even have Meteor Beam, so that's why people were running Choice Specs or Assault Vest, or just with Mortal Spin do some stuff, and now with Meteor Beam it is a huge threat to be reckoned with. Gothitelle, I can see Gothitelle to come back because Palafin is so good, and just the cycling with Rillaboom, Incineroar, and Amoonguss, you can kind of prevent it. I know that Incineroar and Rillaboom both have like Parting Shot and U-Turn, but still I think Gothitelle will be pretty nice. Grimmsnarl, a good screener. Gyarados, another Intimidate Pokemon, and it's a water flying type, so it's not bad into Incineroar, Rillaboom. So maybe a clear Amulet, Dragon Dance, Terra Flying, Terra Blast Gyarados can see some play, or just the utility support Gyarados with Taunt and Thunder Wave. Hedreen on Indeedee, probably very good. Hard Trick Room, you know the drill. You know the Excadrill, I skipped Excadrill before, but now that I think about it, Tyranitar Excadrill might not be terrible, now that I think about it. Hitmontop with coaching and Intimidate support can see some play. Houndstone in the sand, like Tyranitar, Houndstone, Excadrill maybe. Hydreigon, I'm looking forward to Hydreigon, because Hydreigon, just the power creep was too much, but now that the power creep goes down, Hydreigon will definitely be played again, and I'm looking forward to it because I was never able to play Hydreigon myself, but now I probably will play Hydreigon. I can already tell you, I am not an Incineroar guy. I will not bring these boring balanced teams with Incineroar, Rillaboom, Amoonguss. You all know that already, but wanted to say it again. Yeah, Indeedee obviously will be a big hitter, big thing. Yeah, all the Iron Crowns, all the Iron Wands are banned. Iron Crown as well. Kingambit. I think Kingambit suffered from its own kid. No, it didn't, but I just like this term. It suffers from its own kid. Who doesn't know, I can't even talk. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Nails made a tweet where he said Calyrex Shadow Rider suffers from its own kid, and this was the time where Calyrex Shadow Rider had the worst results possible, and as you might know, Shadow Rider is now one of the best Pokemon in the game, and so I thought Kingambit could basically be the same. In the beginning, no one will run Kingambit, but then towards the end, Kingambit will be one of the biggest threats because of Defiant. It's a good enemy to Incineroar because it also kind of forces Incineroar to run Flare Blitz or Will-O-Wisp. But against that, you can either go for a Lumberry or a Terra Fire. So I think Kingambit will be very, very, very good again. I'm not a big fan of Sucker Punch Mind games, but Kingambit we should talk, or we should all have a plan against. Kingdra, a good rain sweeper, but I think there are better ones out there. Klefki, cool screener, I dig it. Kommo will be big. Iron defense overcoat. Let's see who can break through Kommo. Maybe Clear Smoke Among Us again, but you can't stop Clear Smoke with Terra Steel. And if Among Us wants Clear Smoke, it either doesn't have Protect, it doesn't have Pollen Puff. This is just with 4 move syndrome Among Us has. But yeah. Landorus is banned again. Crocodile could see some play. I don't know. And Lilligant in the sun, like Lilligant Torkoal after your eruption, will be better again. It won't be a main thing, but it will be back. Ludicolo. Is it time that Ludicolo wins a regional again? Perhaps. I would say there's no Kyogre running around or Groudon, but I would still say that Ludicolo has a chance to win a regional. Lucario has Final Gambit, Choice Scarf Final Gambit stuff, but you can just use Annihilape if you want to do that. Yeah, Lycanroc maybe on Tyranitar teams again. It was a thing earlier. Magnezone was also a thing, so I can also see that one. Mousehold I already talked about. Meowscarada will see some play. I think Metagross will see a lot of play. Maybe a lot is maybe a bit too much, but Metagross will be a common Pokemon. Milotic is a good Intimidate deterrent, but I don't think it will be great. Mienshao is good because it's good into these Incineroar cross, but again it's bad into Amoonguss. Watch with Choice Band Mienshao with Triple Axel. I mean, you cannot get intimidated, and I would say Triple Axel okay with Amoonguss with Choice Band, but then you have to hit free, you have to lock yourself, but maybe. Mimikyu. Mimikyu is back again, and Mimikyu Ursaluna will be pretty scary, to be fair. Mug, I hope Mug Smeargle strats, I really hope they won't be a thing. Ogapon counts as a legendary. Oricorio, maybe you can do some fun stuff with Oricorio for Volcarona again, because Volcarona is not a legendary. If you thought that, you are wrong. Volcarona is not a legendary, so Oricorio, Volcarona, you can have some fun with that. Orthworm, well, there's not this big ground type threat, but it is actually decent into Dragonite. It is not bad into like this Intimidate stuff, because you can run Iron Defense Body Press, or you can try to set something else up with a Shattay. So maybe some Orthworm usage will be there. Palafin, big threat, we already talked about it. Pawmot is an interesting one because of Revival Blessing. It was used quite a bit in Regulation A, so I don't see why it should not be used in Regulation A+, or Regulation H, sorry, because it's also so fast for the meta. It will be one of the faster Pokemon, so I will definitely see, I can definitely see Pawmot being used quite often. Pelipper is a no-brainer. Pikachu probably not. Politoed. Maybe Politoed Gothitelle can be a thing, but other than that, I think Pelipper is just better than Politoed. Poltegeist, Poliwrath are all not great. Porygon 2! I think Porygon 2 will be a menace. I'm pretty sure Porygon 2 will be at least in the top 10. I don't know if it's a good thing, but I like the duck. Let's see if I will like it after Regulation H, but that's that. And yeah, other than that, there's also Dusclops. We skipped Dusclops because it's in the NFA section, but Dusclops is also a bulky Eviolite Trigon setter with a ghost type in it. Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split, Haze, Bulldoze for weakness policy stuff. I think Dusclops is also not terrible. Yeah, these ones are banned. Viperia, probably not great. Rillaboom, super good. Warring Moon banned. Rotom is not a legendary, so it is allowed, so maybe some usage of Rotom Wash, maybe also some usage of Rotom Mow and Rotom Heat. I can see that. Sableye is also a good screener, but I think it's getting outclassed by Grimmsnarl. Salamence is back again. Flying types in general will be very good because Incineroar, Among Us, these teams usually don't have a flying resist. So Salamence is not bad. And other than that, Scizor can see some play with Bullet Punch and Choice Band, but I think it's not great. Scrafty is probably okay-ish at best. Sinistcha is very interesting. Seeing Sinistcha in a low power creep format is definitely something to be reckoned with, and I think Sinistcha can do pretty well. Skeledurge is also not terrible. Smeargle, please stay away with Smeargle. I don't want to see you. And the annoying part is we lose all the multi-hit moves with Tachyon, Kata, Surging Strikes, so Smeargle will be more annoying than it was before. Yeah, whatever. Snorlax? I mean, if there is a Snorlax, there's a way. Usually you say if there's Roxai, there's a way, but I would say if there's a Snorlax, there's a way. Yeah, Staraptor, Intimidate, Final Gambit is not bad. Stonjourner with Power Spot can also see some usage. Sylveon will be pretty nice, I think. Now that Fluttermane is gone, it can be the best fairy type, the best offensive fairy type again, with these spread hyper voices. New Intimidate Pokemon, or old Intimidate Pokemon in all the Taurus forms, obviously, they will be played. But yeah, Torkoal is a no-brainer. It doesn't have the photosynthesis partners anymore, but it still has the chlorophyll partners in, for example, Venusaur as well. So Torkoal Venusaur could be a thing too. And Toxtricity is not it's pretty interesting if I think about it. Serena is another priority block Pokemon, which is not bad. Tyranitar, I already said, will be pretty good. I think Umbreon will not be bad as well. Venusaur I also just mentioned. Maybe you can also make a case for Vikavolt, but that's rather tough. Yeah, Volcarona I already mentioned. Weezing, I'm really excited for Weezing. Maybe Weezing can shut down the Incineroar Among Us cards, because all of them rely on their ability. Grassy Surge, Intimidate, and Regenerator, so Weezing is definitely interesting. Whimsicott is the only Prankster Tyrant Pokemon which is like usable. Maybe Illumise and Volbeat have a spot, because Illumise has Fake Tears, Volbeat has Tailglow, Baton Pass, but Whimsicott with the Prankster Anchor, pretty good. And that's that. Zoroark can also see some usage, especially Zoroark Hisui as a ghost type. You can bluff a bit. I'm not a huge fan of bluffing, but overall not a bad Pokemon. But yeah, that's my first impression of a new format. I'm really looking forward to it. I will play every European regional in this kind of format, so it will be very interesting to see what I bring. What do you guys think about the new format? Do you think it's cool? Do you not like that they go like back in the power creep? Because what I didn't say, in January, we will go back to Regulation G. From January to April, and I think the reasoning is just that you can play now with 0 restricteds, and then up to April with 1, and then the next worlds will be with 2 restricteds. That's my guess, but for now I'm really looking forward for Regulation H. I won't take a deep look for now, because I have to prep for the World Championship, which are still in Regulation G. But let me know what you guys think about this new format, and if you will play any big tournaments in it, because LAIC is also in Regulation H, and I will probably also take part in that one. But yeah, for now I will say bye bye, and I will see you next time.